I want to know what the message was from Mikel Arteta at half-time, because it was such an electric start to that second half.
Yeah, I think the team did great today. To come here and they played the way we played is amazing. Not just because of the result. Of course, the most important thing is the 3 points, and we did it. But the most important thing, I think, was the way we react. To come back here against a tough opponent is always difficult, and we did it.
What a hit from you, Gabriel, as well. How important was the timing of your goal? Because it came just a couple of minutes after you went in front, just to give you that cushion of a lead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always expecting the ball there to appear to me to score, so I was a bit lucky in that moment. The ball was just in front of me. I just controlled and tried to put it in. And yeah, really happy with the performance.
And we saw your celebration. You had an Arsenal scarf around your neck. Does that just show how important every single win feels in this title race to these Arsenal fans?
Yeah, I mean, the support that they give us is amazing. We just want to say thank you for them to come here and support us the way that they did. And yeah, we are really happy with the result.
Gabriel, 6 goals in 4 games for you. That's as many as you scored in your previous 48 Arsenal games. What's been the key to this turnaround in form?
I think keep working. Everyone at the club can tell you guys how I work every day. Not just me, everyone, but me personally, I don't give up. I always try. Obviously, it's not easy, to play for a big club like Arsenal. But like I said, I was playing good when I had the chance, but I was scoring, But now I think I can score, and then I could score, and then yeah, I'm very happy, and I want to keep scoring to help the team.
You've only got half a shirt left, so I'm glad you've got your jacket on. What happened there?
Yeah, that's it. That's Premier League, I don't want to talk about like fouls and stuff, but as you can see, and then the ref give a foul. I made a foul. How is possible? But it's okay. He'll be there always to try to fight for the ball and then fight for this huge club.
Without Saka in this team, is there a feeling amongst all of you attackers that you all need to chip in and raise your game as you try and replace his goals and creativity?
Yeah, I mean, I think no one can replace him. He's one of the best players in the world, but we know our potential and we know the team that we have. And yeah, we trust in ourselves, and we are going to try our best for the club and for B as well. I'm sure he's happy with the result.
You know what it takes to win a title, Gabriel? Does this team have what it takes?
Yeah, for sure. The previous 2 years was amazing. Obviously we didn't win the league, but we was there fighting. And then to play in this competition is already hard. Imagine to fight for the title. Like you say, I have been there. But as I can see, this team is spraying now. Everyone is a good player, amazing player. And then I'm sure we can go there and fight for the title, but it's still early. We just need to keep trying to play well and then keep winning the game. That's it.
Well, well done, both of you. Congratulations on the victory to start the new year, and you are today's man of the match. Well done.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, 2 of Arsenal's Brazilians there playing a big part. It was a vital win in terms of keeping Arsenal in the title race conversation. And if you consider that Martinelli's got 3 goals in his last 4 away games and Jesus 6 in his last 4, people will be asking, do they need a striker now, Ian?
No, but I said at the start of the season, those 2 players who I'm really, really delighted to see are finding some form at a time where Arsenal need it the most. Are scoring goals now and are playing well and are contributing, because last season, I think, between them, they got 10 Premier League goals. And I think if they got 10 each, Arsenal maybe could have gone on to win the league. And I think that they've realised this season how important their contribution is going to be, and you just hope it can continue for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, if ever there is a time for consistency from both of them, this has to be it, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jules asked a question there, has everybody got to chip in without Saka being in? Of course they have. I mean, they don't score enough goals as it is, really. Well, they've not got enough players that score big amounts of goals. They tend to spread them around a little bit, and they're going to have to up their game from now on. And that started tonight. And it started, actually, for the last couple of weeks. Jesus has been banging them in lately, so that's good. And he'll argue, well, I can always score. It's just I've not been given a chance.
Yeah.
And And you wouldn't blame him for thinking along those lines. But good for them today. Go away from home, score 3 goals, and keep the pressure on.
So what changed in the second half to make that win possible, Ian?
Well, I think you say what changed. I think that what I always find with Arsenal is, yes, they had a lot of possession in the first half, but when it's going at a certain pace and you're passing at a certain kind of tempo, teams like Brentford, who are deep, they get set. You know, we couldn't get anything in from the wings. We wasn't getting too much from the wings. They cut it off, and I thought we just passed it a lot quicker. The second half, moved it quicker, moved the ball sharper.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever we watch Arsenal, actually on the show, we often talk about they're at their best when it's one-touch passing. Obviously, when they're catching the opposition out of position, is it easier said than done? Because surely the players are aware. They increase the tempo, they look more dangerous as a result.
Of course it is, but every team is the same, you know. Doing things at speed in any walk of life is much more dangerous, much more happens when you do things fast, you know. You take more risk, you could give the ball away a lot more.
Yeah.
So certain teams like to play in more of a controlled way and not risk the ball too much and play a little bit slower. But we all know if you up the tempo, you've got more chance of scoring goals. And, of course, every team, when they do that, they look a little bit more dangerous. Arsenal today, even though they went 1-0 down, they still had control of the game. They still had a lot of possession in that first half. And obviously getting back on level terms before half-time was absolutely key. You don't want to be going in at the interval down. And then once they had that momentum again, then you always fancied them to come out and nick it in the second half.
I think the Whams as well, I think with Brentford's goal is typical as when you're not moving. When you're not making good movement for a person on the ball. And when I say passing it quicker, a lot of things have to happen in respect to parking it quicker. You have to have people making movement. You have to have movement either towards you, beyond you, so that you can pass it quick and then you can keep the ball moving. And I think that it didn't happen a lot in the first half. And in the second half, they just quickened it up a bit.
So 2 goals very soon into the second half. Put paid to the contest, really, in Arsenal's favour. Let's have a look at the first of them. Unsurprisingly, from a set piece, Ian.
Yeah, it was a good ball in. You know, I think the goalkeeper was poor today. He made a couple of big mistakes, and I think this is another one. They know what's going to happen with Arsenal. They're going to put the ball in high, in and around him. There's a lot of bodies around him, but he's totally missed that. He's totally missed that. We know how much protection they get, so if he gets himself in a situation where he can get a hand on it, he probably gets a foul, but he's totally missed it. And Arsenal, with the amount of bodies that are in there, they've really taken advantage of that, and that's brilliant from Arsenal's point of view.
Well, I suppose that's part of the reason why they do that, isn't it? It's the chaos it causes in the box.
Yeah, and then most of the time now they're in swinging corners and they land it right on the goalkeeper. You saw there Saliba just putting the goalkeeper off. Enough not to be given a foul, but certainly enough as well to stop him coming and punching that first one, and then the second one he doesn't get enough on it. And they keep the pressure on. They've got big numbers. Look at all those bodies in the box. But they knock that ball right on the money every single time, whether it's Saka previous to getting injured. Declan Rice is a very good corner taker. Whoever stands on that ball, they tend to knock it in a really dangerous place.
Yeah, Noneri playing his part there.
Yeah.
And I suppose, you know, that's where he fits that profile of Saka with that left foot and playing on the right.
Well, what we've seen with him is his technical abilities, great pace. And again, one of the most difficult things to do, something I probably wouldn't be able to do, is take the corners and put them in a place.
Tell us more about it. I mean, that is a particular skill set, isn't it?
It is. I remember one time, I saying to Arsene Wenger, can I take the corner? He said, no, you can't take them. Because to put it in to an area where you know that so much is riding on you, hitting the area, which I didn't realise at the time. I thought I would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
I tried a couple in court and I couldn't do it. Is such a difficult skill. So when you've got players, especially away from home, you know, people baying, trying to put you off from putting in a good ball, and you still put the ball in an area where you're going to cause, but that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't do that.
Were you any good at them, Michael?
Nope. Nor would I want to be. I want to be in the box tapping him from a
You want to be on the end of them.
Yeah, that's where I want to be where Marino is.
Isn't it incredible, though? You think that, but I mean, Gareth Southgate with England used to put Harry Kane used to take them for a period of time. You think he's our best player? He's 6'4".
Was it? I'm sure that was Gary Neville and Roy.
Yeah.
Was it?
I'm sure, yeah, when we couldn't believe what was going on. That's when Iceland beat us, remember?
It was, yeah. Bit of a nadir, shall we say.
But that's brilliant, Nwaneri. Again, we're talking about a player who's coming into his debut and the responsibility of him taking a corner and putting it into an area, we know how dangerous Arsenal are at corners, to put it into an area that has to be there, again, is just testament to him.
As it happened, Nwaneri then put the ball into the, I suppose, the danger area for 3-1, which was literally just, under 3 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly. He just chopped the ball back on his left foot and curled it into a really dangerous area. And Arsenal had bodies in the box, and it was actually a nice little bit of movement from Martinelli. He just sort of ghosted in, and his man, Norsgaard, just thought... Sorry, Damsgaard. He thought he was just going to almost run towards the corner of the six-yard box. We highlight it here. Here's the ball coming in with the left foot swinging in, and there we have it. And he just almost makes a move and ghosts in, almost a horizontal run there.
You saw that, Michael. It's like he checked for him twice, and then he tried to make the run to where he think he was going to be, because I thought that ball in the first half wasn't working for Arsenal, but I think they got the ball to Nwaneri quicker, which I think was good. He was unable to take them on, but that, for me, is very composed, calm finish there.
Now, you'll see, actually, as the ball hits the back of the net, well, we will see now, Nathan Collins felt he was pushed. The Brentford players weren't particularly happy with the match officials here.
There. Was that it there?
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough for a big centre-half. I think he's got himself... Yes, you can see Marino's hands
hand on his back, wasn't it?
Yeah, but, I'll go back and be petty and talk about the Newcastle and Gabriel when they got his two hands on Gabriel's
Don't be
back.
petty now.
Yeah, I'm being petty.
No.
But I don't think a big centre-half should be looking for a free kick like that. I don't think it was a big enough push in that instance for him to get a foul for that.
Michael, for you?
Well, VAR would have a second look at it as well, and they didn't think it was a clear mistake. So, no, I agree. I didn't think it was a foul.
Yeah, but sometimes you two don't see eye to eye with VAR.
No, but that's what's good.
We don't see eye to eye with defenders either.
No, we don't know. But at the same time, no, if there's something to disagree with, we will do. But in that instance there, I don't think that a defender defending his goal, which they did very well in the first half, should be pushed off the ball that easily.
Yeah. It happens vice versa all the time.
Of course,
defenders put their arms on strikers. You've got to accept that football is a contact sport. There will be little parts like that.
But the fact the second half started in that way, from a Brentford perspective, conceding 2 goals in 3 minutes so early on, how much did that put the kind of, the wind out of their sails, so to speak?
Well, it's a disaster, isn't it? I mean, when Arsenal go 2 ahead, you're probably not going to get back into it, are you? And they're such a good side. So, yeah, all that team talk that we had a little bit of footage of at half-time and the rousing team talk that Thomas Frank gives his team, but all of a sudden, within 3 or 4 minutes, it's all out the window and, you're chasing a game and then you're probably making even more mistakes. So, yeah, that can happen in football, especially against a team as good as Arsenal.
I think, as well, Mick, I think what Mikel would have probably have said to the Arsenal side was, go out, start quicker, move quicker, see if we could get something in the first 5-10 minutes of the second half, because we know what they're capable of. We saw it in the first half. They're not in the game for 30 minutes, then bam, they score. Have a go at them and see if we can get something in that time, and then we can relax. And they did. They got it in the space of 5 minutes. They got 2 more goals and finished the game.
All right, let's get the post-match thoughts of the Arsenal head coach. Here's Mikel Arteta.
This is a difficult place to come, Mikel, so I'm sure this feels like a significant win for you tonight.
Yeah, it's a big win. They're a really good side, very well coached, and they've been exceptional at home. Especially when you go down very early in the game, becomes a mountain to climb, but the team was very patient, insisted a lot, and at the end we were rewarded.
And it is about winning games in different ways, isn't it? And you had to show some character tonight to respond to that early setback, because the goal came off the back of Arsenal pressure at the start.
Yes, it was, and we had to manage that situation emotionally. They create those moments. They are really good at that. They are really good at frustrating you, and we managed to do that as well. We lost some big players again today that they weren't fit for different reasons, and the team still competes very well.
Yeah, on that, where was Kai Havertz tonight? Was he not feeling himself?
No, he was sick. We had a few that weren't feeling great, so we have to make a few changes. But it doesn't matter. We bring whoever we bring. They are ready. They are ready to perform. We had Ethan making his debut in the Premier League as well, as 17 years old, and performing well. So it's a good day.
And actually, that period at the start of the second half felt quite key for your team to score those 2 goals in such quick succession to almost take the game away from Brentford.
Yeah, we started really well, and we took advantage of that. We're very clinical in the box, which against them you have to be, because they are really good in defending with a lot of density, those spaces. And then, yeah, we'd probably have to step back a little bit as well for the way that they were building the game, but we looked okay.
And you know people are going to be talking about set pieces again because there was more chaos caused by one.
Yeah, and it was good against this team as well. You know, when they are defending so deep, you have to generate that chaos. One of the ways to score as well is set pieces. It was a really prolific way for us, and great to have that results.
Because you're not going to be with Bukayo Saka for a while, you've got 9 games, I think, in total in January. Is it about protecting the players over these next few weeks, managing those minutes?
Well, I'm more than protecting. I think it's pushing everybody, you know, and understand where is that limit, and then take somebody else in that case. But everybody has to feel that they have a chance to play. Today we decided as well to leave Declan out because he had some niggles in the last few weeks. He comes in, he can impact the game, great, you know, and in the next one, everybody's ready again. And
you're back within 6 points again of Liverpool at the top of the table. Do you feel like you need to be near perfect, if not perfect, in these next few months to be in with a chance?
We can only win our next match and see what happens. It's not in our hands at all. What is in our hands, let's make sure that we do it.
Happy New Year to you, Mikel.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's all about chasing down Liverpool. And you were, keen to stress to me while we were watching the game unfold, Ian, that, you know, you've been in the title race the last couple of seasons when Man City have been involved, right up until the last couple of weeks. You don't want to be falling out in January because that becomes pretty dispiriting, right?
It does, yeah, especially with the fan base knowing that at the start of the season, for some reason, everybody's just saying it was going to be Arsenal that would be chasing down Manchester City. Obviously, no one knew what was going to come with Man City. No one saw that coming. But then Liverpool have taken up the reins and they do look quite imperious at the minute. So, you know, this team's experienced enough over the last 2 years knowing what's needed. And I think that going into this game against the Brentford side, missing those players, Havertz and Rice and Saka, and going a goal down and still coming out on top, says that mentally they're a lot stronger and more up for the fight in respect of knowing what they have to do. Because I think 3 points today with Liverpool doing what they've done against West Ham and doing it so comfortably.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, right?
Doing it so comfortably.
Yeah, there was an element of comfort in the victory in the end, not like the Ipswich game, where it was a functional, resolute performance, but not the most convincing.
No, but this team, as Wright says, they've been the distance. OK, they've been 1 point short or been really close in previous years, yeah, but they've been the distance. They've done it before. You know, they've gained that experience, and if they haven't, then obviously, it's been pointless. But you rarely get a team that just comes from nowhere and goes and wins it. I mean, even the Liverpool team, they've been there, seen it, done it. They've won everything there is to win, really. So Arsenal have served their time now. They know what a running is all about. I don't see them dropping away like, Chelsea have just drawn and lost. And I don't see them doing that. I think they're pretty experienced, pretty consistent now. They went through all of January, all of December unbeaten. We're now in January. They won the first game. I think they're going to put the pressure on. Whether Liverpool just keep going and going and going remains to be seen, but I don't think Arsenal are going to drop away.
And considering the stakes are so high, it makes that decision by Mikel Arteta to play a 17-year-old to fill the boots, and they're quite considerable boots, of Bukayo Saka. How did Nwaneri do for you?
No, he done very well today for me, and I think, there's a lot of talk when he made his debut, when he came on, when he was 15, and saying, why is he doing that to him? It's too much for him too early. But they've seen the promise and the capability of this young guy from many years now in Ireland. You can see how quick he is with the ball when he's dribbling with it. He's passing, his movement. He's got everything that you need, especially coming into a side where, Bukayo Saka, again, you see the pace, he just couldn't quite dig that one out. And this is for the goal, he's cut back inside. It's a nice ball into the area. I thought that they weren't giving him enough. This is brilliant skill here. I didn't think they were giving him enough ball in the first half because he's somebody with that exuberance of youth that he just wants to play, like you mentioned, Mike. He's not bothered about what's going on. He just wants to do his thing and play. And that's what he done today. You saw him do it, and I thought that he was very effective today.
I loved his first touch. Everything. As soon as he got the first touch, he was looking to commit. He was looking to go forward. He's looking to be positive. And his natural step over the way and his balance and his speed. He looks really talented. He looks like he's honed his skills over the years, and he just looks like, he's
ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Yeah, he looks ready to go, and that's interesting because, as a 17-year-old, he's had now that first taste of a Premier League start, played 77 minutes, and he'll be wanting to more of the same, so he's got to remain patient right now.
Well, absolutely.
What's that like?
But from now on, it's a mental thing. As I say, he looks like he's got the game. He's got a beautiful touch. He's got lovely speed. Everything looks very nice and natural to him. His balance and his height and everything. He just looks like a player. Now it's all mental. You're going to have bumps. You're going to be, dropped or rested or whatever. And that's the bit that you've got to sort of fight the way through and remain positive, and then you'll get your success, and you've got to keep your feet on the ground, and then you'll have another dip, and you've got to not get too low and keep your confidence. And the life of a professional footballer is so difficult. There's so many ups and downs, and from now on, I'd say it's much more mental than physical, because he looks like he's got so much ability.
Right, let's get some more post-match reaction on what was a big win in the end then for Arsenal, and so hear from one of their goal scorers, Mikel Merino, who joins us from the G-Tech. Mikel, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Was that the perfect start to 2025 then for Arsenal?
It was. Good evening to all of you. I think it's the best way to start this new year, hopefully with a lot of good news in the future. But obviously, we are really, really happy for the way the game has gone. Winning here in such a difficult place, starting with a goal against and being able to come back is just, it was great, and hopefully we can build up from here.
1-1 at half-time. Obviously, it meant for what was a huge second half in terms of the title race. Is that what was talked about in the dressing room from the manager?
Well, we talked about us. We talked about the game, what we needed to improve to score more goals, what we needed to keep doing well. Because I think we did a lot of things well in the first half. But obviously, we are thinking just about the present, about us, about the little details, the small wins, as I say it. And when you focus on the small things, then the big things become easier. So just focus on ourselves, and that's what we did, and that's what gave us the win.
Mikel, it's Michael Owen. Well played today. I was just wondering, your set pieces have created a lot of headlines today. You scored from a set piece today. How much time and effort do you put into these on the training ground?
Yes, well, a lot to be honest. We train it a lot. I think it's something that is showing that in the modern game is really important. The amount of goals that you can score and the amount of points that you can earn through set pieces, and that's why we train a lot. And when you train it and you put all your effort and your mentality on it, it shows on games. And we are being a big threat in that, not only offensively but also defensively. I think we are a big team in that aspect. Hopefully we still have room for improvement.
A quick word on that celebration around the corner flag. We've seen that somewhere before.
Yeah, I think you saw it in the Euros.
Yeah.
It was the most famous moment. But yeah, it's something I've been doing for a while. My father was a footballer as well, and he used to do that celebration as well for my grandma. And in a way of trying to honor him and a show of respect for my father and how much I love him and how much I respect him, I do it. And yeah, that's the way I celebrate goals now.
Lovely touch.
And Mikel, it's Ian Wright here. I just wanted to ask you, Mikel, about the Liverpool and how hard it is to see how Liverpool are playing at the moment and not feel like you have to catch them. How hard is it to concentrate on just trying to get a job like today's done?
Yeah, sometimes can be hard. Not inside the club, but obviously in the news, and everybody's talking about the title race and how good they are performing and how far away they may be. But the reality is that we have to be focused on ourselves. That's the thing we have to do to try to win games. The things that happened away of that is something that we cannot control. So just focus on the things you can control, improve, try to work hard every single day to win every single game, and then whatever happens, just happen. But focus on you and good things will come for sure.
It's good to see you get your momentum back after that early season shoulder injury, Mikel. But tell me more about 17-year-old, and he makes us all feel old, by the way. Ethan Nwaneri making his first Premier League start. Looks a really exciting talent.
Yes, he is, absolutely. He is an unbelievable player, also a really, really nice guy, really shy, always keen to learn and try to listen to the more veterans players, the coach, whatever can make him a better player, he's always looking for. So yeah, not only him, but all the young kids that are training with us, maybe not playing, but in the training sessions you can see that the academy is a big thing in this club also. And yeah, they are such a good players at such a young age that is scary sometimes. I remember at 17 I was just a little kid, and these guys are playing against one of the best teams in Europe, in Champions League, in Premier League, and they don't care about it. They are not scared of the highlights, and they show it. So we have to take care of them because they have a bright future ahead of them. Sorry.
Yeah, great stuff. Listen, thanks so much for joining us this evening. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
Mikel Merino there, joining us from the G10 Stadium, one of the goal scorers, of course, for Arsenal today. It brings a bit of reassurance to that midfield, doesn't he? It's good to see him getting a run of games now, as I mentioned, after that shoulder injury.
Yeah, and the thing is, when he's come in, he's got to try and adapt to what Mikel wants to do. You know, it's very, very tactical, very meticulous how he wants everybody to move and how he wants them to play in the midfield. And he's obviously finding his feet in that respect. We know that he's got goals in him. And I think that as time goes by, he'll find his feet more and more. Obviously, we need goals from everywhere. So if we can get people like Merino into the box and scoring as well, that's going to help contribute to the goals that Arsenal so desperately need.
So let's have a look at the story of the first half, because, of course, Arsenal have had to pick up the win the hard way, falling behind despite being pretty much in control. They went 1-0 down through Brian and Burmo, and then this proved to be the turning point, right, Michael?
Well, obviously this would have been 2 if that crossed the line, and we'll just see here, it was very, very close, a matter of inches. David Raya making up for his mistake. This is the Hawkeye angle that we can see, so it wasn't far away, and this would have been a totally different game. But only 55 seconds until they go up the other end and do this. They kept the pressure on. They had a lot of people in and around the box here, but so did Brentford, and they had a lot of opportunity to clear the ball, eventually dropped to Partey, who struck a great effort on target, and it was Jesus that was...
Jesus done well, and that's what you want. You want your striker, if there's shots coming in, to be in this kind of position, reacting for anything. That's where he should have pushed it. You can see the arrow there.
Yeah.
He didn't, and bang. That's what you want. That gets you back in the game. And to be honest, I think Arsenal deserved that in the way the game was going, with the possession and the dominance. And so that goal kind of just settled everything down.
Yeah. Not that you guys will have any sympathy, but it was a tough afternoon, really, for Mark Flecken, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was unopposed. I think that was a mistake. He probably should have pushed it wide. The corner, the set piece that Merino scored from, I feel for him a little bit more because he was under a lot of pressure there. But this has got to, I think
you
he's got to
he almost
it's
looks like he's
almost his wrists rather than his hands.
Maybe that's what's happening, but it's still poor keeping and poor technique.
Yeah.
And I think what Michael was going to say about the corner, there's a little bit of hindrance, but he came and, he's got to get something on that.
He's stronger.
He has to get something on that because, again, the goalkeepers get so much protection that you would definitely get something if there is a foul. Look, you see him there, he's missed the whole thing. You know what I mean? Yes, there's bodies around because there's a lot of bodies in there, Mike. You can see it here, look. There's bodies around, there it is there, but there it is. He's got enough time for him to be able to get the punch on that, and he's missed it.
Yeah.
And I'm quite pleased that he did.
I'm sure you are. As far as Brentford are concerned, it's back-to-back home league defeats, putting a halt to what's been an encouraging opening few games at the G10 this season. But let's get the reaction from their goal scorer. Here's Brian Mbeumo.
How disappointed are you with the way that turned out?
Yeah, of course. I think overall we play a good performance. Just need to do better on goal conceded. But we played a very good game today as well. Very good team today, and
It seemed to go wrong immediately after half-time with those 2 quick goals. You were terrific straight after the half-time break at Brighton 3 days ago. Why different today?
I don't really know. I think we need to watch more in details tomorrow to see what could they do better. And yeah.
It was a terrific start with your goal. Brentford barely touched the ball before you put the ball in the net. How difficult is it staying patient and not worrying about not having the ball, and then being composed when that chance presents itself like that?
Yeah, I think for a striker you need to be ready in any situations, and yeah, just wait for the good moment and try to score.
Tell me about the equaliser. Should you have cleared the danger?
Yeah, probably.
All 3 goals felt avoidable, did they? The whole sort of defensive unit, chances to clear?
Yeah, I think we could do better defensively. But yeah, again, we need to watch it tomorrow for more details.
Tell us about the overall picture. Does it feel a bit cruel? You had such a wonderful, positive, exciting start to the season. Then all these injuries hit and things get a bit derailed. Now 5 games without a win.
Yeah, I think it's a journey, a long journey, and we need to get through a difficult moment, and yeah, we're gonna get back.
You can bounce back straight away, Southampton?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do.
Big game that, actually, against the Saints. It's no win in 4 now for Brentford.
Where is it? Is it
in the Premier League? I'll get that confirmed. I'm assuming it will be away to Southampton. But yeah, it is at Southampton. And then they play Manchester City and Liverpool in the 2 games after. Now, the thing is, right, we've been waxing lyrical about their home form. Clearly know that they've only taken 2 points away from home. Yeah. So as soon as they put this home form to bed or improve their away form, they could slide down the table, right?
Well, they could. Absolutely, they could. Their away form can't get any worse, can it?
No.
And they probably could get more points in their next game than they have all season away from home. We'll see. Southampton aren't the toughest opponents as things stand, so we shall see. But obviously injuries have hindered them, but it's not affected them at home until tonight.
Yeah. How do you see it, Ian?
Well, for us, they do need to start with the home with the away form, simply because I thought today, even though they did get that goal against Arsenal, I thought it was a poor performance from them. I thought Wissa and Mbeumo scored his goal. I thought Damsgaard, we spoke about him before the game, I thought they were pretty poor, and that was at home. So if they're not going to be able to get it going at home, and people watch that game and see that you can get at them, and then they're going to play as poorly as they played away from home, then they're gonna have to watch out.
Yeah, about this winless 4-game run they're on, they've only scored 2 goals in that time. You don't want the goals to be drying up when the games come thick and fast.
No, you don't want the goals, but that's never really been their problem. They've always been a team that score a lot of goals. They probably concede a few too many. That's been their problem. But yeah, if they start slowing down in terms of scoring, then they have got problems, because they'll always be a team, I think, that will concede goals.
I knew it was going to be a tough match here to start the year, but after going ahead, how did the match get away from you today?
No, I think we did a lot of things right. I think overall it was a good performance. I think first half was extremely good. I really liked the way we played. I thought we were very, very brave on the ball. Created some good opportunities in the phase 1 and got out of the pressure quite easy. And I also think we were brave in the high pressure as well. And I think we defended well low. So overall, I think we did well. It was the fineness of margins that we need to do better. Of course, we score a great goal, and just before the equaliser, it is like this. Then we are 2-0 up. I know it was a mistake from David, but still, it's a small margin, 2-0, different game. But anyway, we need to do better on the 1-1 goal. If we want to beat Arsenal, that are the second best team in the country right now, been that the last 3 seasons, one of the best teams in Europe, we need to do everything right, or close to. And we could have done better in the first one. I think the second one is a corner. They only had 3 corners, so not too much. And I need to look more into it. But again, they're very good at it. And I said it before, I think probably the best team in the world to do that is something we need to learn from. Learn from them, no doubt about that. And then the last one, also think we can do a bit better. So overall, happy with the performance. We played against a top team that just punished us in 3 moments.
With Brentford's away form being what it is and having a game away at Southampton next, how disappointing is it to now have back-to-back home defeats where you have been so strong?
I think that today we play a top team. You can't expect just to beat Arsenal today, but we did very well. So that's just a performance. It happens. And Nottingham Forest, I think, was a little bit different. I would love to have more out of that game. So, and away from is just one thing until the next game.
A new year for Brentford will once again see you trying to hold on to some of your key players now that this January transfer window is open. Will one of your biggest tasks being to keep hold of Bryan Mbeumo, who once again showed his quality today?
Bryan was really good. I thought he scored a fantastic goal. Really pleased with that, and I think his performances and quality, he really showed that today. For me, it shouldn't be a problem to hold him.
Thanks, Thomas.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, considering Bryan Mbeumo's got, 11 Premier League goals, they need to keep hold of him, don't they?
They do, absolutely. This is the time of the year now that probably managers don't
Things get a bit twitchy at this point,
particularly enjoy the questions that come at them and the actions that they've got to obviously face with certain players. But that's a club matter as well as the managers. And yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of players at the moment that people will be talking a lot about in terms of their contract situations now this window is open.
Can that prove to be destabilising or not, all that chitter-chatter? Or is it something that you just put to one side?
It can if you don't deal with it properly. And inevitably, if your results and your performances are poor on the pitch, then all of a sudden that gets blamed for, and it's because of this unsettling scenarios behind the scenes. I mean, Liverpool have got 3 of them at the moment that everybody's talking about, but they're winning every game, so nobody really says, oh, it's unsettling. You know, it's hindsight, it's after time, and it's all these things that people will want to talk about. But yeah, it can be unsettling if it's not dealt with properly.
Yeah.
It can be unsettling, I think, for, let's say, maybe one of the lower-end teams, like a Bryan Mbeumo, who they do need him, you know, but then if you get one of the higher-end teams trying to come and buy him, then that can be unsettling for someone like him, you know, simply because he may want to leave, and, you know, I'm just speculating here, he may want to leave, but obviously the club needs him because obviously they're not scoring enough goals, but at the same time, it's a progressive move for him. So, yeah, it can be unsettling for the player.
Are you speculating because Arsenal are one of the clubs linked with him?
I don't know.
No, look, according to widespread media reports, there's nothing confirmed there. But that seem like a good fit for you?
Well, obviously, from left-footed coming in off the right-hand side, back up for Saka. I'm not saying that he should be back up for Saka, but you could see where they'd be interested in someone like him. You know, he scores goals. You know what I mean? He's good with the press. You know, he's somebody that you probably would be interested in, especially if he's scoring at that rate.